Talk, shop, pop, movies.
Ahoy there, this is Derek, the Convicted Cinephile, and if you're a convicted cinephile yourself, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel down below. On my channel, I like to talk, shop, and pop open, that is, movies and physical media. Today is going to be my final Oscar predictions video for the nominees, obviously. I'm not that crazy. I can't pick the winners yet. We'll get there when we get there. But it's coming on Tuesday morning, and as I said many a time before, I will be live streaming, live reacting to the Oscar nominations announcement. That makes more sense. So I'm going to pop on here at about 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The actual announcement is at 8:30, so I have some time to fart around, double check my Gold Derby predictions and stuff, because I'll forget 4 days because I have a terrible memory. But yeah, join for that if you want to hop on or watch it yourself and BS about the nominees, complain about the snubs and the shocks and who you think missed and all that stuff in real time with me and everyone else in the chat. So did it last year, worked out good. But today it will be my, like I said, final Oscar nomination predictions. I just redid all these just to make sure I had everything where I wanted, I think. And yeah, I think we're good to go. So here we go. I have Gold Derby up, zoomed it in a little so hopefully you can see a little better. I have the same 10 I have for Best Picture as I did for a while now. And the PGA nominees confirmed that my feelings were correct. So I am unintentionally copying the PGA nominations, which are Oppenheimer, The Holdovers, Barbie, Poor Things, Past Lives, Maestro, Anatomy of a Fall, The Zone of Interest, American Fiction, and Killers of the Flower Moon, which is, as you can see on the left, they're not in the same order, but it is the same 10 movies everybody else is expecting. The next highest one is The Color Purple, which hasn't been getting in essentially basically anywhere. Then same goes for Air and Spider-Man as far as Best Picture nominations go. So I think outside of a amazing surprise from some random movie, these seem locked in as the 10, which is, kind of boring. It's nice when there's a surprise here and there, but I like these 10. Like, I have no complaints with them. So I'm happy. I'm not going to argue. Best Director, BAFTA gave us a nice shakeup. So between that and DGA, things are going on. Christopher Nolan is essentially the only one to hit everywhere. It's his year. He's going to win unless he gets Ben Affleck at the Oscars. Which, God, if that happens, everyone would be really fucking pissed. And that'll just help Oppenheimer win Best Picture, so at least he gets an Oscar. Alexander Payne made DGA and the BAFTAs, so he's getting in, I feel. And he still has 30-1 odds, and he always gets in. When his movie gets in Best Picture, he gets nominated for Best Director along with it. And I love The Holdovers, and so does everyone else for the most part. Yorgos Lanthimos, Poor Things is strong enough that he'll still get in. Same goes for Martin Scorsese. He also got snubbed at BAFTA, which was really shocking. But I think at the Oscars, he's still safe to get in. And I think the international director that gets in, like every other year, will be Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest. I think, sadly, Greta Gerwig will be the one getting the shaft because she, too, got snubbed at the BAFTAs with 6 nominations. They do vote a little weird there where they only pick, I think they vote for the top 2 in director. So the top 2 vote getters were probably Christopher Nolan and possibly Alexander Payne. And then the other 4 were jury saves. So it was impressive who they picked. Let's put it that way. Check out that reaction video if you haven't seen those nominees that I did the other day. But yeah, Jonathan Glazer seems like the international pick. Maybe Yorgos or Martin Scorsese, or even Alexander Payne for that matter, get bumped for Greta Gerwig for Barbie. But Greta Gerwig and Barbie missed picture and director at the BAFTAs, so it's not as strong as it maybe was. I could see it being weaker at the BAFTAs than at the Oscars, but honestly, I'm not angry. I kind of want it to be these 5 from what I've seen. Justine Triet could get in there for Anatomy of a Fall. Celine Song at this point is a long shot, I'd say, for Past Lives. Bradley Cooper did get in at BAFTA, but he missed at DGA. So he has, I would say, it's like 68-1 here. I'd give him like a 50-50 shot, honestly, to get in. It all depends how much they like Maestro. I think these 5 seem good. Best Actress, Lily Gladstone missed at the BAFTAs, which was shocking. I still have her here for 100-1 odds. I think I put her in here way back in the day when this first opened, when they didn't know what category she was going to be in, and I forgot about it. And I still think she's definitely getting nominated. Even if I didn't think that, I'd probably keep her in here just for the sake that I have 100-to-1 odds on her, because I'm winning tons of money and stuff doing this. But might as well look cool doing it. I still think she's going to get in at the Oscars. She made it in everywhere but BAFTA. That still bodes well for her, especially with the weird jury system. Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall. She missed at SAG but got in at BAFTA. She was the one who missed at SAG that everyone's like, oh yeah, she's going to get in. I feel that's going to happen. Carey Mulligan is the only one, I think. Nope, Emma Stone and Carey Mulligan are the two to hit everywhere. Actually, no, Margot Robbie did too. Margot Robbie surprisingly got in at BAFTA. That's the one everyone thought would miss. And I kind of agreed. So I think it'll just be these five. These are the five I already had in here. These make the most sense. Greta Lee has a chance to sneak in. That would be cool. Annette Bening, I don't think anyone cares enough about Nyad for her to get an actress nomination that she's never going to win. So why give her another nomination for her winless record she already has? Wait until she's going to win, then nominate her again. Fantasia Barrino did get in at BAFTA, but that's like the only place she got in. So I think she was a jury save on that one. I wonder who the top two were. I think it was Emma Stone for sure, and possibly Sandra Hüller at BAFTA. But we'll see. I did the extra points vote because I have Lily Gladstone in at 100-to-1. I didn't even realize I did that until just a minute ago before I started recording. So happy with those five. Actor, similar. I don't think I moved anything around since last time. Cillian Murphy's getting in. Paul Giamatti's getting in. Bradley Cooper's getting in. Those are the three guys who've made it everywhere, I think. Coleman Domingo, he's way down here at 10-to-1 for whatever reason. So I want to flip-flop him and get more points. He got in at BAFTA, which was impressive. So I think he's going to get in for sure. And Jeffrey Wright just seems like he's going to get in at the Oscars. He missed BAFTA, but American Fiction wasn't going to be a huge BAFTA player. So I wasn't too surprised there, but I think he'll still get in just due to the respect for him in the film overall. And DiCaprio is going to be the one to get the snub. He missed at SAG and at BAFTA, which are like the two most important ones to get in. So I think his chances are dead. And Andrew Scott for All of Us Rangers couldn't even get in at BAFTA, where he was seemingly guaranteed to get in. So I think he's kaput. I think it's going to be these five, give or take a DiCaprio. Okay, this one got a little shaken up. The supporting actress, Divine Joy Randolph, continues to sweep. She got in at SAG and at BAFTA. Daniel Brooks got in at BAFTA. So did Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer. They've gotten in, I think, everywhere. Daniel Brooks has a very large chance of being the only nomination for The Color Purple by the end of all things. Same thing goes for Jodie Foster, who I did take out because she missed at BAFTA. She could easily get in. Same thing goes for Julianne Moore, who missed at BAFTA. Penelope Cruz got in at SAG, which is stronger than either the Globes or Critics' Choice. So I put Penelope Cruz in. They like to nominate her randomly for stuff. And I'm going to hope for the double nomination for Sandra Hüller, since she got in at BAFTA. Could easily be just a BAFTA thing. She's at 33-to-1 odds, so I figured, why the hell not? If I get one of these wrong for either Jodie Foster or Julianne Moore, I'll be like, okay. But I think May December sort of on its way out. I think it's going to become a lone screenplay nomination, which happens pretty much every year. I think there's only been 1 or 2 years where it hasn't, at least recently. Jodie Foster, I give them each equal chance of getting in. They're both highly respected previous Oscar winners. Supporting actor. This one went from being the easiest category to potentially the hardest category to predict, which is fun. It makes it more interesting. Robert Downey Jr., Robert De Niro, surprisingly, the only nomination for acting at BAFTA for Killers. And I thought he was going to be the hardest one to squeeze in. And Ryan Gosling has been in everywhere. I still have the Poor Things boys, Willem Dafoe and Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo missed at SAG and BAFTA, which was crazy. I can't believe he missed it both. Willem Dafoe got in at SAG and missed BAFTA. Charles Melton missed BAFTA and SAG. Sterling K. Brown got in at SAG. And Dominic Sessa got in at BAFTA. So Melton, I think, is out at this point, which is too bad if he got in here. If both Poor Things boys miss for any of these three guys, that'll be awesome. Honestly, I wouldn't mind that one bit. But I have a feeling at least one of the Poor Things boys will squeeze in. So I'm going to put both of them just to hedge my bets. But yeah, that went from being a super easy category to being like, what the fuck's going on here? Like overnight, which is good. Makes it more exciting. Adapted screenplay, Oppenheimer, I have on top. Not necessarily that I think it's going to win, but it's up there. I'm sorry, Killers of the Flower Moon I have over here, but that missed a BAFTA, so that's kind of on the outs. Poor Things, I have a feeling will get in easily and potentially win. American Fiction is the one thing it got in at BAFTA. So that means it's absolutely getting in at the Oscars for at least this category. And it has a chance to win. It won a Critics' Choice. It's a very writerly movie. I wouldn't mind it winning. And Barbie's in here now, which I didn't even have it in here until earlier before I started recording. This I feel it's going to get in for sure. Zone of Interest could easily get in, but I think Killers will be stronger than Zone of Interest overall at the Oscars. So that's why I'll put that in instead. Otherwise, that would be the BAFTA 5, which honestly, for the craft ones, I kind of just copied the BAFTAs for a lot of it. Who the hell knows, right? Original screenplay, Holdovers is in for sure. Anatomy of a Fall seems to be in for sure. That also won at Critics' Choice. No, that won at the Globe for screenplay. That's right. Past Lives seems like that'll be the one guaranteed thing it gets outside of Best Picture. I think it might easily just be a picture screenplay movie. But even if it somehow misses Best Picture, it's going to get screenplay, I feel. And Maestro's been getting in everywhere for screenplay, even though I didn't really expect it. And I have May December in here still because I think, yeah, it's dwindled from being like a maybe Best Picture with 3 acting nominations and a screenplay nomination movie to being a not going to get Best Picture to maybe 1 or 2 acting nominations and screenplay to just probably just screenplay kind of movie, which is, I like the movie, but it's not like one of the best things ever that it has to get every single nomination it's possible. I would rather it get Charles Melton and screenplay over any other 2 things. It's kind of a weak category now that Barbie's not in here. You got Air and Saltburn; those could sneak in easily, and everything underneath that. There's no way in hell it's getting in here. I had Dream Scenario in there just for shits and giggles, but that hasn't gotten any traction. So I'll go with these 5. Cinematography, Oppenheimer, Killers, Poor Things, and Maestro, I believe, all got ASC nominations. Zone of Interest, I believe, got it at the BAFTAs. I'm going to put it there. Color Purple hasn't been getting shit. Saltburn would be a deserving nomination, and El Conde is the 5th ASC nominee, but it hasn't popped up anywhere else than that. And everything else I just don't really think deserves it underneath here. Holdovers would be a great nomination. I would love if that got in. But yeah, everything else I just don't see happening personally. This makes the most sense. This one I moved around a lot. Costumes. I think I pretty much just copied BAFTA / the Guild nominations because Color Purple was on here, but it hasn't gotten anything, even from the Costume Guild. Wonka's a maybe, but that didn't even get in at BAFTA, and that was a strong showing at BAFTA. Oppenheimer got in at BAFTA, even though it's like 6th place here. And Napoleon as well made it at BAFTA. And I think those 2 could easily get in. Oppenheimer is strong as hell. This should get in here at costumes at the Oscars, I'd imagine, just as easily as Killers will or can. Barbie and Poor Things are the guaranteed ones there. So yeah, I'm just gonna go. I think I just went with what BAFTA did in the long run because Color Purple's weak, Wonka is pretty weak, and these 2 movies, especially Oppenheimer, just seem like better choices. Film editing is another one that kind of got goofy. Oppenheimer, I think, is in it to win it. Killers seems to be a guaranteed nomination. Thelma Schoonmaker basically always gets in, except for Wolf of Wall Street, which was bullshit. She should have been nominated for that at least, if not win. Poor Things seems strong enough to get in. Barbie, I don't see getting editing. Holdovers, I would love to see get editing just to show how strong it is, but I don't know if it's going to happen. And the Ace Eddie nominations aren't until a couple days after the Oscar nominations, so we'll shoot ourselves in the foot when those happen. Anatomy of a Fall just seems strong as hell, and I think that might get in. I believe that got in at BAFTA. And I think Zone of Interest got in at BAFTA also, and that's at 100 to 1 odds. So I said, screw it. I'm going to put in Zone of Interest. And if I get them both right, cool. Like I said, I copied BAFTA for a lot of the crafts. Makeup, I have Maestro, Poor Things, and Oppenheimer. They're getting in essentially everywhere, including the Guild. Napoleon and Killers is getting in everywhere, despite people not really believing in it. And I think Napoleon got in at the Guild as well for makeup. I would not be surprised if anything else got in, like Golda. Golda's been losing steam and it didn't get in at BAFTA. Society of Snow seems like it might just end up getting that foreign film nomination, international film nomination. So yeah, I'll just do these 5 and hope I get some points with Napoleon, I guess. We'll see. And I can see that movie being a movie that gets a few below the line nominations, and that's it. There's always one of those each year. Production design, we have Barbie and Poor Things on top. Oppenheimer, Killers, and Zone of Interest, I believe, were the other BAFTA nominations. Zone of Interest is an awesome nomination for this, and it has pretty high odds, so I'll be happy if that wins. Color Purple hasn't been getting in anywhere, even for this, so I don't see why that would get in. Asteroid City and Napoleon seem more likely than Color Purple, but watch me be wrong and that get in. And yeah, Killers and Oppenheimer just seem like these are like the 4 strongest movies, more or less. They just fit the category, and Zone of Interest would be a cool one. Saltburn would be a really good nomination, honestly. Holdovers would be good. Everything, all these would be good nominees. There's no like bad one in this list. Best score. I think these were the 5 I already had. Yeah, they were Oppenheimer, Killers, Poor Things, Spider-Verse. I really, really hope gets in. It's been getting in everywhere, I think. I think it still got in at BAFTA. It missed visual effects, but it got in for score. And Zone of Interest, it wasn't eligible for at BAFTA, but it has such an interesting sound and score combo that I think it might squeak into the Oscars. Otherwise, it'll just end up being John Williams for the 107th time for Indiana Jones music that he's already done 4 other times, which I love John Williams. He is the GOAT for like legitimately, but he doesn't need another Oscar nomination for another Indiana Jones movie. He didn't even win for the first one, for God's sakes. Why are you still nominating him for the shitty 5th one? Elemental is Thomas Newman, who he loves to get nominated, but he hasn't won. If Elemental got in and then he won just for shits and, just cause it's Thomas Newman, I wouldn't even be mad just because Thomas Newman would finally have an Oscar. Other than that, I don't see what would get in. Saltburn would be a fun, like, out of nowhere surprise because that got in at BAFTA and it does have a really good score. So that would be cool. It's tempting to take out Zone of Interest and put in Saltburn just because Saltburn just doesn't seem as strong here as it did at BAFTA. Neither does Zone of Interest, but Zone of Interest is a Best Picture player, unlike Saltburn seems to be. If that couldn't even get Best Picture at BAFTA, it's not going to get in here. Best Song, the category they don't have at BAFTA, so we have to actually like think and stuff. But it's makes enough sense. What Was I Made For? And I'm Just Tanner getting in. One of those two is winning, or they're going to split votes and some random bullshit's going to win. Road to Freedom is going to get in. That hasn't missed. The Color Purple song, I guess. Flamin' Hot, The Fire Inside. That is the mandatory Diane Warren song that gets in every year. So that's why that's there. If the Color Purple one misses and American Symphony gets in, or anything else besides Dance the Night, because that can't get in if the other two do, whatever. I won't be surprised, honestly. I'd be like, okay, Color Purple has even less nominations now. All right, Best Sound. I don't think The Killer is going to get in. I would love if The Killer got in. That would be like one of my holy shit awesome nomination moments in the morning, but I'm going to play it safe here, I think, or safe enough. Oppenheimer's going to get in, probably going to win. Maestro should get in. Ferrari makes sense, but it only got in a BAFTA, I think, and I don't think that movie's going to get much of anything besides maybe Penelope Cruz, who I predicted. Killers of the Flower Moon seems like a logical choice, and Zone of Interest has amazing sound, so that got in essentially everywhere for sound. And I'm going to go way down here. Got in at the BAFTAs, if I remember right. That's why I checked. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning just sounds like it would be a good sound mixing editing nomination, and it's at 100 to 1, and it deserves it more than Barbie does. So why the hell not? I'll give it a chance. But yeah, if The Killer got in for sound, that would be like one of my favorite nominations of the whole day. Visual effects. This is a tricky one, actually. Guardians is going to get in for sure. Maybe it could win. Maybe a Marvel movie could finally win. Because what the hell else is going to win? Honestly, like, I don't know. This is probably the best year for a Marvel movie to win because it's not up against some ridiculously amazing, like, secret hidden visual effects juggernaut like 1917 or something. Well, it's probably not going to happen. The Creator just seems to be in. Poor Things, probably the one and only Best Picture nominee in this list that's going to get in. So maybe that wins in the end just because of that. Spider-Man, I still have getting in, even though I missed a BAFTA, just because I think it'll be more popular here than a BAFTA by a little bit. And it would be a really cool nomination. I had Godzilla -1 in, and then I switched to Napoleon because I think Napoleon got in a BAFTA, if I remember right. So did Dead Reckoning, actually. So Mission Impossible and Napoleon, I think, were the other two to get in a BAFTA. So I won't be surprised if that got in. Napoleon just seems more likely, and I think it's going to get more nominations overall. So that's why I picked that. Society of the Snow hasn't really been happening for visual effects. I wouldn't be surprised if Godzilla got in just because it's so damn popular here. But that would be really the only reason it gets in, is because it's something we can nominate Godzilla for. So I'll go with these, and we'll see what happens. I'll just be super happy if Spider-Man gets in. And nope, we got animated. Oh yeah, we got all the shorts left. I was getting ahead of myself. Animated feature, Spider-Man, Boy and the Heron for sure. Elemental for sure. That got in a BAFTA even. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I think, will get in there here. Chicken Run missed everywhere but the BAFTAs, so it still has a solid chance, but it's a very British thing. Nimona's doing well. Wish isn't, nobody likes Wish, so I don't know why that's in there. I would personally mind if Mario Brothers got in because I like that movie, but yeah, this is just between Spider-Man and Boy and the Heron. All the other three are filler. Documentary, I have American Symphony, 20 Days of Maripol, Four Daughters, Beyond Utopia, and I did put Still back in. I took it out because these kind of movies never get nominated, but this one is getting nominated everywhere, including BAFTA, so I put it back in. Let's go, Michael J. Fox. Still need to watch that movie. International film, Zone of Interest is in, probably going to win because Anatomy of a Fall can't. Society of the Snow seems like a solid pick just because it's good and it's getting potentially nominated in other categories. Did the Taste of Things over here. I have Fallen Leaves in there just because it's in the top 3 here. I took out Perfect Days and put in 20 Days of Maripol because that got in at BAFTA and it's getting in a documentary, and that's been happening a lot more lately for the last few years, getting in multiple categories with documentaries like that. So they're equally good guesses to me. El Capitano, I believe, was the other one to get in at the Globes, and then Four Daughters is another one that's in documentary that could get in. There's always some random shit in documentary or in an international film that someone doesn't expect. But which one's it going to be? So that's why you just go with the easy ones sometimes. The shorts, I'm honestly just going with the top 5 on all of these because I have no idea what to pick. So I'm just going to say that. And I think that'll round it out. Yes. So we're back at the 10 Best Picture nominees that are all but guaranteed to get in. So that's what my final Oscar predictions are. Yes, they are fairly run of the mill for the most part, but it's more scattered around than any of my other nominations have been for any of these other shows, to be honest. I usually stick with the top 5s on most things. Pretty much everything, I should say, give or take the shorts, which I just kind of do just out of laziness and ignorance, to be honest. But the other categories, like having Napoleon in there here and there, and Mission Impossible in there here and there, even though they're lower odds, 100 to 1s, Sandra Hüller in supporting, stuff like that. Just stuff I kind of hope happens / have a hunch will because it got in a BAFTA, and there's a crossover voting body with BAFTA and the Oscars. Not a ton, but there's at least hundreds of people that are in both. So that means something. And then SAG, same goes for that. Lots of SAG members are in the Academy, obviously. Not all of them, because there's like 100 bajillion SAG members, but there's like 1,700 or so ish acting Academy members, which is the biggest chunk. So SAG matters a lot as far as nominations getting in, at least. I'm excited. I'm always excited for the random stuff that shows up out of nowhere, the snubs and the shocks and all that stuff everyone says to get clicks. Please join me on nomination morning on the 23rd of this month at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The announcement is at 8:30. I'll probably hop on about half an hour early-ish. Before I forget, I am wearing my Collectors Club shirt, and tonight is our Collectors Club recommendation roundtable show where we all recommended each other an Oscar-nominated film that we hadn't seen before, and we had watched them all now, and we will talk about them tonight. And then Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, an hour earlier, we are doing our actual Collectors Club stream, but it is also Oscar themed. So we're going to go through Oscar-y collectibles we have, of which I don't have a ton, but I have a few. We're going to recommend movies to the audience. We're going to try to recommend an older and a newer Best Picture nominee out to you that you may have not seen. And if you haven't, you should watch them. And we're going to go over snubbed actors and filmmakers from Oscar history who have never been nominated and absolutely should have at some point. At least we think so. So that's what we got going on through the end of the weekend. And I'll see you Tuesday morning if I don't see you before then. Once again, my name is Derek, the Convicted Cinephile. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Talk, shop, pop, movies.